Hi, everyone. It's Brendan Miller from Maple Immigration. I just wanted to do a really quick video here, and I wanted to talk about my thoughts on the game-changing Express Entry CEC draw that happened almost a week ago. So if you're not familiar, what happened is Saturday, February 13th, there was a draw. And outside of the normal Express Entry draws, they drew record numbers, which was 27,332 people. So first off, if you're one of those 27,332 people who won the lottery, because that's exactly what it was, congratulations. If you're not and you're wondering what to do, I think you should listen to this video a little bit more, because I've taken some time and I've tried to unpack about what's going on and trying to extrapolate where this is going to go, and I want to share that with you. So there's a few things at play that you need to understand. First off, immigration is very important to Canada. And the reason that it's important to Canada is it's one of the major drivers of the economy. But there's a number of different factors at play with that. And one of the biggest things that we've seen is the COVID-19 pandemic. It's actually really slowed down the numbers. And if you look back and you look at what the numbers were for last year in 2020, the Canadian government wanted to do 341,000 people. They wanted to welcome 341,000 permanent residents to Canada in 2020. And in actual fact, I think the number was closer to 184, 185,000. So they were actually very short on those targets. Now what's happened is to make up for those targets, because these actually have very real impacts on a number of different things for Canada, the immigration minister came out and said, in October, we're going to bring in 401,000 people in 2021. If you watch the news, or specifically the immigration news, which I do, one of the things that you'll notice is that the immigration minister has been queried on how realistic this target is. A lot of people don't actually understand that that's actually a pretty lofty goal. And these numbers haven't been seen, for decades and decades. So that's actually a very lofty goal, especially when there's a pandemic. Now, there's a problem. So where are they going to get these people? Because borders are closed. Okay. So I think that's probably the main reason. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually, instead of me just throwing all these numbers at you, I want to show you a few things. So I'm going to click over here. I'm going to share my screen with you. Actually, I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. So what I've done is I've brought up the Express Entry page here, and I want to show you what this looks like, and I want to show you the draw. So this is the draw that I was talking about. There was 27,332 people. Again, you can go back and you can click here and you can see the previous rounds. And if you want to go take a look at this yourself, you can go to just put in Express Entry rounds of invitation, and this will come up. So the lowest score was 75. And again, this has changed everything. This has absolutely changed the whole calculus for everything to do with Express Entry. And I'm going to talk about that. So what happened is prior to this, on February 8th, 2021, right? There was 152,714 people that had actually put in a profile and put their hands up and said, pick me, okay? So what we know about this, okay? This draw, again, as I've said, has changed everything. But there's a few other things. This has created a few other problems, okay? And before I get into the positives here, I just want to highlight a few things here. So first off, the problem is that it's going to have an impact on the provincial nominee programs, because basically they've pulled out all of the people under CEC. And if you've been following this, a low score of 75 basically means that you have 0 points, you're over 45 for age, you've got 1 year of Canadian work experience, and you've got the lowest level of language, and that's pretty much it, okay, to get down to those scores, okay? So with that said, whoever got that, that's why I say this is a lottery, okay? So basically, we've effectively lowered the bar. My concern is, and I think a lot of my colleagues share the concern, is this is ripe for fraud. We don't know if this is going to happen again, although I do think it is, and I'll tell you why. But I think that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be taken advantage of, because now all of these fake, consultants or people overseas, unauthorized immigration practitioners, or whatever you want to call them, ghost consultants is what we call them. They're going to show up and they're going to say, see, look, it's 75, pay me money and put me in here, right? Ethically, it's so many issues, but let's not focus on that. So it's going to lower the bar, which is a good thing and a bad thing. There's potential for fraud, and it's actually going to do some damage to the PMP programs. Okay. Now, let's talk about what this is going to do or where the numbers are going to come from. 27,332 people. So again, math was never my strong suit, but I'm going to try my best here. So 27,000 from 152,714. So we know right now, if it's down to 75, it's safe to say that they've pulled everybody out of the pool in CEC. I think that's a given, because 75 is the lowest number. So 152 minus 27, right? You see where the numbers have dropped. Okay. And so now we're down to about 125,000. On the top end of that is going to be the people that are under the provincial nominee program. So the people at the top end, if you have got a provincial nominee or like a nomination certificate, you get 600 points. So we can very easily see how many people are in that section there. Okay. Just getting back to the PMP, one of the other issues there, and I think that the problem is that when you do a PMP program and when you start going in there, it's an extra application, there's extra expense, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of people might not be inclined to be able to do that if they know that they're going to continue to do these draws. So I think that that's also one of the issues. Now, getting into that, I want to talk about where are the rest of the numbers, because remember that 401k people that they got to bring in. So they're going to bring people in from different slots. The way it works is they slot it out to family class, economic class, which is express entry, humanitarian and compassionate, refugees in that area, et cetera, and the other different programs, PMPs, et cetera, et cetera. The bulk of it is going to come from the economic classes, which is express entry. Now, if we've pulled 27,000 people out, right, for Canadian experience class, 90% of which is what they've said are in Canada, okay, because they want to get around, they want to meet the numbers and do all of this, we know that the rest of those people are there, okay? So they've basically gutted all the CEC numbers. Now there's going to be other people that are going to start adding in their stuff. I've already had a ton of calls. I've also had a lot of clients or people that I've done consults with that up until Saturday, they didn't stand a chance with the numbers. And now this draw happens. And ethically, I can't tell somebody, yeah, your points are like 370, like there's no chance. Because historically, that's the way it was. But now what we're seeing is that, now that's actually not the case. So game changing. It's game changing. So there's a quota for PMPs, which means there's a limited number of people that can come in. So where are the numbers going to come from? There's not a lot of CEC people left, and that'll get replenished, or that 27,000 people that were drawn might not be able to get their stuff in, or they might not have a proper application. So that's that. The PMPs are limited numbers, and we don't know if people are going to actually apply for those if they're in Canada or whatnot, because why would they if they're going to start doing these really low draws? The Federal Skilled Trades Program, again, that's in a program that's not really highly trafficked and usually has a lot of lower numbers. So again, they've adjusted the English scores lower because, somebody who's working in the trades may not have really strong English, might be able to build some stairs really well or lay some concrete really well, but, might not have the English. So immigration's aware of that. So they've adjusted that. So traditionally, somebody who has a trade certification has a lower score. But again, there's not a lot of people that are in the draw from my understanding of that, or in the pool under that class. So what's left? Federal skilled worker. I think this is where the overseas is going to become more relevant. And I also think that when things start kind of sorting out with COVID, I think that they're going to have to start pulling people out of that, because they can't get rid of the overseas program, because that's actually one of the bigger draws of people. They still have a huge number of people that they have to bring in. Remember this, if they've gutted out and they've taken everything out of the CEC draw, right? Where are these numbers going to come from? They can't get them anywhere else. So they're probably going to be looking for people overseas. And again, once there's a sign of when the border is going to kind of sort out, I think what's going to happen is that you'll see maybe they'll start doing those draws, because there's a few things. They have 90 days to be able to get all their stuff in, anybody who's overseas. And then once they do the medical, okay, you've got 1 year to do the landing. So if there's kind of, sunrise coming up and COVID's starting to get beat out and borders are going to start opening up, they might actually pull one of these draws. So anybody who's sitting at an elevated level, total game changer, total game changer. Now, why do I think this is a good thing? Okay, there's a few reasons. So first off, again, and I'm just speculating, these are just my opinions. So I think that this was actually kind of a smart thing to do for the government. And I say that with like kind of smart, because I think that there's some bad points with the fraud and the different things that they're going to do. There's some people that have reached out and been like, hey, like, I'm really frustrated. I wish I had some advanced knowledge about this, because I would have put my profile in, and, maybe that would have been nice to do. But all of that aside, I think it actually shows commitment from this government, from the immigration minister, that they're going to hit those numbers. Okay. It's a big sign of that. So that's the first thing. Secondly, from a political standpoint, a lot of the people that are here under Canadian Experience Class, outside of people here that are on work permits, or people that are, here under a treaty type work permit, something along those lines, most likely students. So the government's been doing things to prop up the student market, et cetera, et cetera. And quite frankly, the student market is worth like, what, $20 billion now? Something along these lines, like obscene amounts of money. So that's actually a big thing. If they start, not helping out the student market, that's a big loss. So think about the international student, not only paying like really high tuition fees and higher than local student tuition fees. They're renting places. They are spending money in the economy. They're, blah, blah, blah. People traveling to see them. They're going around and just generating a lot of money for the economy. So I think actually with this, they're actually protecting that. So in some nation, this is what I think. I think that it was... personally, I would have liked to see them give people notice. I think that it's a very good indication that the government's going to stick with the numbers. And I think that if you're actually interested to come to Canada, you might be looking at something that is truly revolutionary and game-changing. And I think that you should seriously start thinking about getting your stuff together, whether you're overseas or not. Because quite frankly, a lot of the people that I've been speaking to, because I'll tell you, I've had a lot of inquiries over the last little bit going, what's going on? What's going on? I think that you really, now is the time to kind of be like, okay, I got to get my stuff together. All right. So if you want, what you can do is just reach out. I'm going to put on some contact details there for us. So you can reach out to us at Maple Immigration. You can speak to myself or somebody on the team. Again, most likely the first point of contact that you're going to speak with is Denise, and she'll be happy to help you out. You can do one of two things. Just send us an email if you want and say, hey, listen, I'm interested. Depending on your situation, we can kind of advise you on what the best course is to go forward. It might involve a consultation, or it might be like, okay, yeah, we can kind of get this thing going. Let's get it going. And again, what we're doing is that we're trying to be very reactive to this and structure it in a way that, it takes into account that this now is a lottery, and we're trying to take care of people and meet their needs without them kind of going and doing, the full stuff, so to speak. Okay. So anyways, listen, I'm going to wrap it up there. So again, thank you for listening. And congratulations again to the people that were lucky enough to get those, get that invitation. And again, if you're looking to go to Canada anytime soon, please reach out to us here at Maple Immigration. We're in Toronto, Canada, but we're very accessible via the internet, Facebook, or give us a call. All right. Hope everyone's staying safe. Look forward to speaking with you soon. Take care. Bye.